Hey guys, it's Maya and I'm here to explain how skydiving works.
For the sake of this video, we're going to assume that you already have a skydiving license and you're arriving for the first time at Skydive Dubai.
If you're new to a drop zone, there's a few things that you need to do. First things first, you need to get your gear checked at the rigging loft. This is the rigging loft. This is where you'll get your gear checked. Riggers know all about parachutes, how to repair any damage, and how to pack reserves, as you need an extensive course in order to pack reserves, as it's a really delicate process and you really don't want it to be badly done. Once you have the gear checked and inspected, you get one of these. It shows that your rig is valid to jump. And you'll get a little piece of paperwork that says what you're jumping, telling the manifest that it's okay for you to jump. Once we have all of this done at the rigging loft, you're going to get a little piece of paper that shows everything is fine, and you take this little piece of paper to the check-in. So you take that piece of paper from the rigger that shows that your gear is all good. You take your logbook. This is what a logbook should look like. This is just a printed page showing what a logbook is, but basically you need to have your jump number, what you did on the jump, place, date. Logbook is basically just there to show that you have the amount of jumps that you claim to have. It has to be signed by a licensed skydiver, and they can call that skydiver and check if they were there present for those jumps. Another thing you obviously need is your license, which we usually have in digital form. It's just a little piece of paper that says your license number and like the membership number. Once all the paperwork is done, you have the green light to jump, but you also need the drop zone briefing. The drop zone briefing is usually a video, so it's not playing right now, but it would be playing if it was a normal jump day. Different drop zones have different rules, so it's really important to watch that video and get educated by the instructors, because even though you are a certified skydiver somewhere else, there might be things that you don't know about this specific drop zone. This is an aerial photo of the drop zone, which we use to get all of this education. We learn where the wind socks are, so we know which direction the wind is coming from. We get told where we can land and where we can not land, obviously. So let's say if you are a student, you can only land here. The main landing area is here, and then there's also a high-speed landing area. High-speed landings look like this. Usually we also need to learn about out landings, but this drop zone is actually quite safe because you can almost land out anywhere. So if you don't manage to get back to any of these landing areas, then you can land basically anywhere other than certain areas where you can hurt yourself, like don't land on a building, but basically the entire desert is good for you to land. Skydivers always land into the wind because it slows you down, and if you land with the wind, you tend to go really fast, which can be a little bit more dangerous. So we need to know for one, which direction the wind is coming from, and two, what is set as the landing direction. In this drop zone, the landing direction will either be this way or this way. There's a big inflatable arrow that shows you which way we're supposed to be landing on this specific jump. It's sunny in this country. But yeah, this is the landing area. As you can see, it's pretty huge. So you should not have any issues landing here. And this is, in general, you can kind of land everywhere unless you have like a really fast parachute and you want to do this thing called swooping. So you need a swoop between this hedge and these little pylon things. And then on the other side, you can land wherever. For example, in this landing area, they use these little cones to show the beer line. They call it the beer line because if you land there, you have to buy everyone beer because you're not supposed to land there. And in this case, I think the beer line is mostly because you don't want to end up overshooting and, for example, hitting those buildings. Also, you don't want to land in the hedge. It would not be very comfortable to land in that. If you look over there, they have the arrow that I was talking about before. It's an inflatable arrow that they kind of move around depending on the winds. Skydivers always land into the wind, so if you see the arrow that I was talking about before, it's pointing where the wind is coming from, which means that you have to land in that direction. That's one of our planes. This is the runway. It's a really long, nice runway, and a lot of drop zones is kind of just grass, so this is like high-class runway. Quick rundown of the gear. You need your rig, you need altimeters, ditters, and helmet. And comfortable clothes, obviously. The rig includes 2 parachutes. You got the main here and then the reserve here. You also need an AAD. This is a little device that deploys your parachute for you if you don't deploy any parachute at around 300 meters. This is a hook knife. It's a little knife if you get tangled in your own parachute or somebody else's parachute, or there's a lot of different reasons why you might need one, but it's good to have a hook knife to cut yourself out of a sticky situation. I've had multiple people tell me that it's weird that we need helmets because it wouldn't save you anyways if the parachute didn't open, but that's kind of not the point. The parachute's usually open, you know, but if you land bad and let's say you land on a building or in a tree or something and hit your head, it's super important to have a helmet. Also, something that can happen is in air collisions, if you and your buddies are jumping and you get hit in the head really hard, it's possible for you to pass out. So another reason why it's really important. The altimeter shows you visually at what height you are. If I turn it on now, it shows 0 because I'm on the ground. Mine is set to meters, but you could also set it to feet if you prefer. The ditter goes in your helmet. I actually have 2 of them. There's these little holes on the sides of the helmet that allow you to put the ditters, and they're also basically altimeters, but they are not visual. You can hear them. So let's say the first height, 1,500 meters for me, will be break off, so you move away from your group. The 1,000 meters is open your parachute, basically. So the main canopy is deployed by pilot chute. The pilot chute is, you pull the pilot chute out, it fills with air, pulls this line, and pulls out the pin. Then this whole part opens and the parachute comes out. A reserve also has a pin, but the system is a little bit different because you have it connected to handles at the front. So this is the cutaway handle. If something's happening with that main canopy and you need to get away from it, then you pull this one and it cuts away your main canopy. After you've cut away and you need to open the reserve, you pull this one. This blue line is connected directly to the pin at the back, and it pulls it out.
So once you've got all your paperwork done, you got the drop zone briefing, you know how to land, what the rules are, then you can manifest for a load. So actually the first jump of today is going to be the Christmas jump. So what I did is I made holes in the dress and I put the leg straps through the dress so they are under there. It's gonna look so funny. After every jump, you have to pack your own parachute. You can use packers if you want, but it's just a little bit more expensive. The goal is to do as many jumps as possible, especially for us now because we're trying to train. So basically now we just manifest to another load, pack our parachutes and do everything all over again until sunset.